Dr. Jonathan Asanchochi, a political analyst and also a senior lecturer at University of Cape Coast. Doc, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
About to say,
you
are dumb, Miss Omehoya Papa. I read that as I say, yes, to me account. Enya Bidu. That's what Ghana Kwe President John Dramani Mahama as the next president of the Republic of Ghana. Now, no said they call ye be in Kugu Parliament. Sita NPP Kuta ni Sita NDC Kuta. Now we have 4 you can't say independent candidate. Woman na shares enim say enema betumi akoyi na fe wo matumi ensoso ahye wo madwuma ase. Say na who process no.
Process. Well, let me say good afternoon to your listeners. Your good self and the wonderful work you've done.
96.7 FM.
This year, the Nipa Bre, Makasa, and I pay for interviews. I have seen still been a gusu or mubuki. I think it's the process of getting someone elected in this country, and said that is so much of a problem. The problem has always been collation and declaration. And as human beings, we should have learnt from the EU observer mission during the 2020 elections. Observer. In their report, on my ETS, there is a problem with collation. And so, for some of us, we are calling for, electoral reforms and easy procedures of doing things.
Big 96.7 FM.
Based upon the experiences you have from over the period, because Nipa as an idiot, you should be able to have a review of the things that you do. You don't do the same thing, and you think you are going to get a different result. When you do the same thing forever, you still get the same results. So, for example, Utimushe said, delay in declarations and collation. Actually, said this time round, the recruitment process was flawed. The recruitment process was flawed. The background checks of these people, like returning, presiding officers, it was flawed. So, I am suggesting that particular function of the EC, should be subletted. It should be subletted to any of these, either Kodeo, all those, they can put a bid, so that they would do the background checks of the applicants, and then submit a report of those that qualify under ABR national security or ABA. We are fine. That for me will be able to establish. So we do not need people who are party painted, politically painted, partisanly painted to be presiding and all those officers. We may have, you may affiliate yourself with a political party, yes. But if the functional performing duty at the amount, because an appointment, duty at the amount says, sir, I didn't know what team now, I'm out party way and now which party way. So a bubble forward you may anymore, then you are not professional. And we don't need such persons because look, you bet me up plunged this country into some kind of chaos. Yes, we can easily plunge this country into some kind of chaos, and that is something that we must say. But significantly, some of us, we're sharing our predictions. Everything has come to pass. I have said, human beings are rational beings. I don't TV for so free. Human beings are rational beings. And when I predicted that Trump was going to win the elections against Kamala, and it came to pass, Aristotle tells us about what he calls universal truth. In the comparison of the universal truth, it differentiates between what historical truth is and what poetic truth is all about. I want to situate universal truth, because human beings are rational. And once circumstances are the same, irrespective whether you are in US or you are in Ghana, the human being will act similarly. And on TV3, I said to say, in our case, hunger is our middle name. Hunger, a middle name there. Then we must expect worse results for the party in government. And I also said that the NPP was going into these elections as underdogs, despite the fact that they were in government. I told them that they were going into these elections as underdogs. And you know, when you go into any fight as an underdog, it is expected that the one that is highly the favorite will beat you. Rarely, any beer, ukuta chadiaba kubie free baby na underdog no edia bo nipana obianum so obewini no. So you just cannot have a situation where Afrobarometer tells us to say 83% of Ghanaians feel that the country is headed in the wrong path and it will not feature in the elections. It will feature, I told you. It will feature, and that is what has happened. What you say? Global Info Analytics, somewhere that was 65% Ghanaians. And they said no, they were headed in the wrong path. We showed the approval rating of the president. It came as low as 26%, according to Global. And then later on, around July or so, no, it was somewhere 35%. So you don't involve such a president whose ranking, whose approval rating is so low and abysmal in your campaign. So I can tell you that what I observe is that Ghana for at the year for the world before and I don't Dr. Bawumia. Apart from the fact that Dr. Bawumia Nangasan so our own problems and challenges because of Nano Akoyinika in times past. So me say me share on the balance of say me more. Maybe the president about 60, the vice president about 40 in terms of and just idea it could be 50-50 or it could be 60-40. Whichever way, the two of them they created those problems for themselves, and the Bawumia is the one FM. Who bought the brunt of the whole thing.
I see. Now, Osha ebi say because of some man for ma betwaba enti na ekoso omu defeat no. Let's assume say come man for betu ekra state come be to me wini.
What makes you think say omamba betu no come betu ama? Onda onyame asimpo so omamba because say oboye won crop for na so omamba betu no mama metu. They would have voted against you anyway because they were not ready. Besides, it is too early for Dr. Bawumia and co to jump to such conclusions. You are a different personality. President Akufo-Addo is a different personality. Maybe the problem is from you yourself. Okay? Me catch there almost say. But internal presidential elections, internal. Dr. Bawumia could not make 70% in the first special voting, presidential voting. I think he had 68 or so, or something percent, 68. I had the 5 no. Now, I'm going to say, when your opponent got 98.8, you are hovering below 70%. Your people were deceiving you, telling you are going to make 80, almost for some 80, 85, which is 70 something. That was oh yeah. Now, make money to say, even the first one with establishment people under the machinery of the president, you could not make 70. The second one, which was between the 5, he will not make that score that people were saying. At the end of the day, what did he get? 61. You cannot send that particular percentage in an internal elections and go and win national elections. It means to say internally, no, you are not popular. Mm-hmm. You are not popular because we opponent are hitting 98.8. Now, the other thing I work against on myself, at the time Ayora Mahama take you over now, President Rawlings was not alive. President Mills is not alive. Now the old guards who belong to the Rawlingses and then Millses, they have now realized that no, we will have to congregate around Mahama to give him the maximum support. In the party there is only one faction, and that faction is Mahama faction. So everybody will come around him. In the case of the NPP, it is not like that for now. It is not like that. You will have the Kufuor faction. After the election, you will see. You will still have the Kufuor faction. You are now going to have a Akufo-Addo faction and then Bawumia faction. So the headache now is, do we still keep Dr. Bawumia or we go for a different candidate? Looking at the way he has been trounced, do we really think, say, Ghana for a fee all the baggage of the president within 4 years, within 2 years? I think that is a big call for the NPP. But I will advise them, say, they should equally go the path of the NDC. Set up, a committee of elders for respect to all passions, respect them. Let them go around, find out the reasons why to say the reasons why people voted against them, floating voters, including NPP people and the NDC itself. They should find out all of this, put it in a document, and then find new executives, new set of executives. Not almost started afresh in terms of reorganization.
Now, Bawumia the president. Say if you say do say fancy omo beto woma babium na me fancy omo primaries do a. Also say you just mentioned say amanfo bebre na still will remember name omo ye ni ade say bi omo rebefi. But still that session it say oto abama Bawumia oto amana na do no. Ebe da so obebe ho.
You see, Oshomo say ano. To be frank with you, for MPP to have a candidate coming from the side of President Akufo-Addo will be difficult. That candidate will never be popular among the grassroots of the MPP. So they will have to change course. Now, Akofa Obifufro. And because you want the party to be appealing to all, and that was a good decision to take. But as to whether it was very strategic, time has shown that it was not. You see, at this point in time, Dr. Bawumia is still not out of the shackles of the president. He is still not. Unless I want to assume, say, there is friction between the two of them. Because I expected, say, come the transition way, I was expecting to see Dr. Bawumia, but interestingly, Dr. Bawumia is nowhere to be found around the transition. The AD Juma, handing over processes near there, but he's nowhere to be found. Is it a case that he's falling out of the president in terms of likeness or something of that sort? I can't tell. There is some conspiracy theory out there. Maybe it is too much of a guesswork in the and America said to choose Dr. Bawumia once again should be backed by data and proper research, not just popularity contest. It should be backed by data and popular and research. 2, picking Dr. Bawumia again should be based upon the performance of the NDC under Mr. Mahama.
Big FM.
Now, if Mr. Mahama is able to perform, it means that there is a likelihood of NDC winning again in the next 4 years after the term of Mr. Mahama. Now, if that happens, it is possible that they could even go 12 years because they will have to outperform the current record of the NPP before they leave power. If they outperform that record and corruption in the idea, they nip it in the bud, they live life of modesty as the president-elect is preaching, then it will be difficult to bring Dr. Bawumia back. It may rather work if they pick somebody else. They may have to change course. Because what shall send you in this in for many other one? What you say, come out the one opposition at check. Or for the Omania check. And you know, omunya omagene say, omba ba yam from so na NPP for ya, omato abati omkakrakasa no. And if you listen to President Mahama, you can see. I say he wants to even have a modest budget. What you say? So you could see that and Myanmar Emma Abai unpopular in the minds of Weno. He is not going to accept that. He intends to put in code of conduct. Code of conduct, when you fall foul of the code of conduct, you are out of his government. And ultimately say he wants to use consensus building, consensus approach. One, was say or per se, where they obey books no more at the union for no more who this because whatever be the case, high cost of living will make the unions begin to agitate. But they will give the goodwill of the government, but after a while, they will want to see, say, you are living a life of modesty. That is very important to the unions. And to know books so much, do so. Then it says that then they will all create and share. Two, was he is going to organize a second century-like accord, where all experts with expertise about Betnasi now brainstorming so that they will have another homegrown policy and then ask for a review of the IMF program and with the World Bank as well. That is to ensure that we have a proper growth as on mine. The growth that we are having now is stunted growth. It has no jobs. Because areas now can say, oh, areas now, there are no jobs in there. So this is jobless growth. And we cannot in any way accept that as because that's the more reason why our unemployment rate has hit as high as 14%, 14.7%. Into the same way you are working, if he's able to put in place that lean government in a work, it will be a record that is using 60 ministers for the first time in the Fourth Republic. See that. If he's able to do so, that will be a record for him. With overwhelming majority in Parliament, he should be able to implement the Constitutional Review Commission report, cutting down the powers of the president, so that in the near future, Ghana for me hold accountable, more accountable those whom we have put in places of authority. Yetimiya Sadia now, Omaino will be back on its feet.
Now, about Western region results, how did you feel?
Well, maybe I never feel say and say Babano. But most of the places, per the research, it happened.
Ejapamesa lost his seat. Sani Aboa in Poho.
Ejapamesa said, my NPP boys almost can be a bit frame. No more catch him say. Ejapamesa belusu.
Oh, there's all the only crowded the ones who belusu.
Yes. I'm for them. I think 3 days to the elections.
I see.
No more frame, yes. My boys, we were second, confess that side near the end now. And I'm catch him so, a Japanese history. Because not Oma organizes seriously. So it took the effort of both NPP and NDC to kick him out. Near Ghana, Western region, 20 million yet. Made me feel a toasty and a takrade. I would have even preferred a Japan to be in parliament than the regional minister. To be frank with you, I don't have any personal hatred for him. But I won't call for a demonstration or my there. You sit there and insult their integrity. Now you see, if you are not even careful, by 2028 you won't go back to parliament. Because the person will have become a bit more strong unless he decides, hey, he's not contesting again. Because I'm here, Krampona, Prime Minister number 2. No.
Prime Minister Ebebano.
Yes. I'm here and the Prime Minister number 2. Abansana, I just saw a dinner issue.
But on the end, the surprise also to mystify the seat.
I know the man can't remember. I said, I didn't know people say. Last minute now no shit, so most of them decided to use monetary influence.
But apart from sir, at the end now can say or when ebia one more demonstration or some monkey crew need those kind of words now or no sir no so on and your name presenters I want to caucus out or in can for the friend now no what twegum
96.7. I think he should count himself lucky.
What about Mekuduka?
Mekuduka, yes, that one no. A strategy no mudi yini firo. Because in the previous elections, he was supposed to have lost. No, you sue some Article 419B, and what the 50 more data cash if you let us send a monkey Canada. But no Adrian say is still popular. But the strategy a comma is a tailor no was woman or quite independent decided say one
throw the support
for him, and that is what worked the magic. Apart from that, also me could do so no one the busia or mine no so obviously he still did not have the support of the royal family of which he came from, of which he's a member of. So if you don't have the support of the royal family, that in itself is not good news. And he didn't work on that. Think and say Bia was going to use money, not their film. No, it's not everything. This election it was not about money. Because if it were to be money, NDC in Timinia, sir, and Bawumia.
They send our friends now man for discuss and Omako Twaba. So what is Kayen to. And then Hamidama also lost.
Hamidama, no, of course, the presence of Joseph, Joe something.
Joe Mensah, the independent candidate, yeah.
Yes, that obviously also worked against him. So it was a strategy gone wrong. But Bachman too had become a local name. You know why? Because he was also giving legal services, some of them pro bono. No more illegal ideas, and he was not taking anything, let's say, be a substantive case. So such a selfless service will provide, so equity. Even my mother and my aunt, they even went to see him.
Oh, okay.
So, yes, so that is the thing. It worked magic for him.
So does it mean
apart from the fact to say that wave of change was blowing throughout the country. So that in itself also helped. It is a local problem can create beer.
Hello?
Yeah, man.
Now also bunya problem.
Bunya local problem can create beer. Also, we hint that. Wave of change, about Hurricane Katrina, too. Intino said, wow, who bought Kakrano, one for Nieman to 2 years, and say a 2 I don't know. Into such local misunderstanding, Kakrano also will create problems for those sitting MPs. Hence, that's what happened. What a hunter was the year. 2022, Papa, no, a bass one. Obviously, at that time, by election, it was dangerous for the NPP. They were not ready to take that risk.
I said
so all what they had to pray was to keep the man, let the man still be alive. I mean, charge till the time number 2 national elections. And that's what happened. But you could see, sir, there is that wave of change and a blue. Big FM. I think that the mother party at the central level in terms of government did not really help the MPs at the various constituencies. NPP itself, they shot themselves in the foot. Look, every level of election you conduct creates acrimony along the line. But NPP organized about 8 different elections. And when him say every election be a bit nice. Until at the when you went in tower at the back of Muntem, and some of them can hold on to it. So you are brought down. Marco a year branch, constituency, regional, national. Every year, you acquire a presidential. You acquire 5. Yeah, presidential. Every year, 6. Yeah, parliamentary. Omukuta seat 7. Parliamentary, Omukuta seat. That is often 8 different elections. 8 different elections. But look at the NDC. Both often and when boom. At a go. Sir, we are about Omotua, be freema, we 5 because Omobro 5 no win. That thing should be cancelled. That thing should be cancelled because and no have been leading to Alamo Omochu free party no. Ufo be who you know the what is Samira? What? Almost contest here conducted nanya one time. Men now a binman who say okay, some pen for you know more way afa. I didn't know more way afa, and so all those things could create internal friction. That is something you can do away with. Cut down the number of elections that you do internally. Some of them, if you have to fuse them together and get it done. Maybe because they were in government, they thought they had resources at their disposal, so they could do that. But, say every level biano, boka. Everywhere biano boka.
Yeah.
So, if the NPP is not careful, I'm telling you, they'll be miserable in opposition because this election.
Because coming together now will be very difficult. Is that what you want to say? Say, because and 3 days no money. What is a former Obuasi member of parliament? In something in Edredo or something. Or say party no obi obe to me akase sisi no national executive constituency and regional executive no muma yeshia no obi obe to me aka be adwuma na ya asante hene.
No,
Papa, what he's saying, no, or say, party, no, as you speak, no.
All what he's trying to say.
No, but, dog, no, cano. You funny say one bit to call for me. Obiemba.
No, it is too early. It is too early. It is too early.
Because still, I was expecting say, Anka Obi to say, I'm not done pre. Any what do you call it? African market. Anka by now, Grano come be quiet for now. But they are still improving. Say still a hand tiny those kind of thing. No, it is there. And you want to check out. We rather pay them. Now I don't pray to me. I try either come president say more who do transition. Biana, you declare results to me. Who bondo? We see it quite well, Lusu.
Also, Lucy,
we see, this just be quiet. You come, you contest it in court. No.
Unless all of a sudden they don't believe in the court again. The court that they have been touting.
Say one come make say munko court or yen say e ba na dane and na sad way kiki God tell you say go to court because they know some crop for no. That's it. Now the other one I'm for expert here. Na Charles Bisu need Dr. Grisayesu. As you speak Charles Bisu we fi grow cry. You see how it is.
Now some me catch the Sikado Katan force. Look, now I say Joe Garte with such a reputation. you'll be following somebody else. You'll be following. I feel pity for him. He will have. He's done his bit. He's run his race. Let him do his work, and that is it. But to say Yachin will be your moi. What you say? You say.
You see, sometimes.
And Ghana for Dwana Tia. Now I say we call supporting and say, I mean, no call rounds, we didn't call pro. No, it's not going to work. And I said, it's a tackle for Sikado for any idea, Munyan Suonuma, an effect of Galamsey activities, of which he tacitly no, Nene, and then some can, the Juma dear, abroad, why secretary to the entire ministerial committee, we know. And near why no. Actually, I said, well, force argument, and so until you cannot in any way make such a person, an MP. And but I also what they call parliament, and yeah, but I are positive. He is just looking for diplomatic immunity, so that should there be a change of government, not so a parliament, at least he will be covered. The same thing Kwesi Cape Coast North was also trying to do, and you see. Every human being is a rational being. So on course school, I don't stress out doing and then it's true. And to what you say, well, course school no. No could have been a case a chain will be a baby. People have street sense, and this street sense.
Tama no mobile primary so no. Na almost one guy normal friend Giovanni or say to. He's born and bred in that constituency. Giovanni or say to. But because of also now as a financially no as a action no and shed there ni hono because you had Charles Bisu and then Homa is the deputy director for NLE. I don't mean no be contest so you could see say but senka omo to me hu here ehun boy ni vision no kuta and omo to ma Giovanni or say to and there's going to be a great contest in that constituency.
Certainly, it would have been a.
But because of Obia to make back, and so I've told that guy too.
Because the woman herself, she nearly won, or she won, and she was arm twisted in the 2020 elections.
Yeah, sure.
So now the people felt that they needed to compensate her for that.
Exactly.
And that's the more reason why. And you also brought a candidate. In the minds of the people, no, on your indigenous person, in the minds of the people, on your very popular, for bad reasons, because you don't expect any human being say, "Oh, send you so you my dear, send you so no one knows one how are they going to live on this part of earth?" You don't expect to say, "I'm best of."
No, but with this Galamsey issue, we are okay. Yansha, Nanado Asamo can say. When they wanted to protect Galamsey site, and I say, I'm up for two Galamsey, no, they lost that election in 2022. Intino to the extent that Katakwa Kraomo ya the Omulusu. Intino this time no be ja omo ye Juma said the boys in the no ebenya Juma ye. So everybody who see obi hu ya can say Brekudu Kano. Oh, my boys in the Juma wama Juma ya. Sa ne omo friend no community mind in there. It was all over Takwa. It was all over because saying say Yabatuaba it's young boom numbers near there. So I was shocked sir with all what they were doing, no. Now Olusu, look at the margin. Almost 9,000 or you can say almost 10,000. Different. Yes, Olusu is simple.
Yeah. Sir, the independent candidate, you know. The support base.
Joy one through the support the man. Isa Musa Isa Taylor.
Yeah. Big 96.7.
This is serious.
Yeah, it's a lesson. What is more important is the fact to say the winning party believes that they are not ready to take for granted the power that they have been given. That is good. If only say enquire to say painful comments, some say a certain apama with failure. Na say
ne atete say ebiasa say ya hantan. Ne atete no say ebiasa say ya hantan. Dwa ne ahoma so ebi kasa kra sha say sesa. lose talk. No.
Because some of them have already, I think one person, and I think I saw a drastic or dramatic change in the way of status of workers, and that is Samira MP. In the beginning, Utimu said, now details in the Bible, Utimu said they felt to say the NPP should accept the verdict of the people near there, but quite of us who can't some. And the way I was about name calling, it was not good. It was derogatory. The following day, or by or status of workers, said they are piped down, and Okasa and check. Now say the following way. Now say Bawumia about accepted the verdict of the people. So apart from the president is showing, president-elect is showing that direction. Say they want to be modest. They want to bring modest budget. And if you say, baby, they will not take for granted the mandate of the people. If he's able to do so, why not? And he should be able to do so because you have the benefit of hindsight and you have experience of which you used. And he said, and Ghanaians believed in you. That among person, will be a better trial, and they felt to say, when you have problems and challenges, you solve those problems before they voted against you. So they feel said he should be able to solve all the problems that he feels, the country is facing. Don't forget, finally, say we are still in Doomso. Doomso is still around us for now. Doomso is around us, and so we need to get our act together and ensure, say, those problems are dealt with.
Doc, Mami Fonsi, na me na wase na we so